very tempting to believe that we will make bold changes in our lives when things feel more settled, more certain. When the kids are more settled in school, when the house is more sorted, when the economy feels more certain, more positive, when the world feels calmer. The truth is, certainty rarely arrives first. If we wait for perfect conditions, if we wait for all of those things to fall into place, we can remain stuck for years. I'm Emily Rogers, and I'm here to talk about women in leadership, women's reinvention, women's careers, building confidence, and taking that step forward with honesty and courage. Today, I want to talk about something that I think a lot of women are quietly wrestling with. How do you move forward when life feels uncertain? Many women are waiting for life, for the season to feel more stable before making any changes. But if the last few years have taught us anything, it's that life, it's rarely stable. The world, it is chaotic. Things are changing all the time. Our economies are changing all the time. Our family needs are changing all the time. Our own roles are changing all the time. Our health, our parents' health, our children's health, it's all changing. Our priorities are changing. If you require certainty before you make a move, you are literally handing your future over to circumstance. The world may feel uncertain, but your growth doesn't have to. When women imagine reinvention, when they imagine that what-if scenario, they often picture a dramatic leap, a clean break, the perfect plan, a fearless version of themselves. But real reinvention, it usually begins a lot messier. It begins in the middle of that tension of not knowing what's next. It begins in the middle of that can I, should I moment, that little bit of fear that means you're stepping out of your comfort zone. It starts when you're unsure. It starts when you have multiple responsibilities. It starts as your confidence is catching up. You're not going to have confidence first and then the reinvention. You're going to start the reinvention and your confidence will catch up. Many meaningful chapters start before you're ready. But readiness is created by movement, through movement, not because of it. We're not waiting for that loud, dramatic woohoo. Be nice if that happened internally sometimes as well, but it's probably not going to come. It's not going to come until that moment when you look back at what you've achieved and you go, woohoo, look at what I've done. But sometimes we just need to have enough courage to put ourselves out there and have an honest conversation, to put ourselves out there and update our CV, to put ourselves out there and make a start. If it's a business you're wanting to do, start it as a side hustle. Start it as a part-time gig rather than a full-time gig. Overhauling your life in one go is never going to work, but coming with courage to do that first step, that's where you can really start to break through. Admitting that you want more. By admitting that you're ready for more. By trying and giving it a go. Taking that first step. When I start working with clients, what we do is we work out what is that first step. And so often it is about creating time and space. Literally, the first step is getting your diary out and working out, when could I make time for the reflection? When could I make time to start doing this? When can I make time to update my CV? When can I make time for that conversation? You don't need one giant leap. You just need the little steps to get you there. If this is your season for change, if this is your season for reinvention, it could be about letting go of that outdated identity. It could be about changing how you're working, backing your experience, starting something meaningful, leading differently. There's lots of things, lots of ways reinvention can come through. And often it's rarely visible to anyone else in the first instance. It's normally something that starts internally. So take a moment, tune in, listen to your soul. What is it craving? What does your soul need from you now? And then sit down and work out, what is that first step? If you've been with me for a while, you may know this already, but if you're new, then you don't know this. But my business started as expat parenting abroad. I literally hosted support groups for women who were transitioning countries, physical transitions across countries. And I did that for a few years. And then one of my last conversations with my dad before he died, he literally said to me, you can do more. You're limiting yourself. You need to step out. And that was kind of an aha moment, because I'd been banging my head against a brick wall. It felt hard. It felt heavy for a long time. And so when I took the time to tune in after he died, I took some time to reflect and tune into that moment and listen to that conversation. I realized if I was leaning into my soul and leaning into what I was being called to do, it was more than just women changing countries. I still do that support. But it was more about women stepping into who they should be. And hence the Leap to Lead was born. And as I adjust and I pivot and I shift slightly each time, it's because I'm leaning into, what's my soul saying? What's my heart telling me? Where do I need to be working to feel fulfilled? So I know what it feels like when it's hard, when you know that something has to change. I know what it feels like when you're thinking, but I don't know what it looks like. That's okay. Create the time and space to think about it, to reflect on it, to consider it, and then work out what that first little step is. And take that one first, and then the next one, and then the next one. As you step through the little actions, that's where momentum builds. That's where confidence builds. And that's where you keep building, digging into that courage and leading and growing. It feels yucky to start with. And the reason it feels yucky to start with is because you're stepping out of your comfort zone. If you want to stay comfortable, stay doing what you're doing. But if you're ready to step out of your comfort zone, it's going to feel a bit icky. So if you've been waiting for certainty before you start something new, I hope you can hear me now and understand what I'm saying and be reminded that certainty is not a requirement. Courage is. And courage, it will start smaller and quieter than you think. I'd been feeling it, and it was a conversation with my dad, but it didn't hit me straight away. It was later, after he died, when I was reflecting on it. That's when I realized. That's when I understood. So you start stepping forward, and then you look back and you go, woohoo. I invite you to take that first step though, and it is often getting your diary out and making time. When have I got 15 to 20 minutes to sit down and consider this? Put it in your diary. Make that commitment to you, to yourself, to your future. If you're building your next chapter, I invite you to subscribe. These conversations are for women who are ready to move forward with depth and confidence. I'll see you for the next episode.